The 2024 NASCAR Cup Series season is officially over, and NASCAR just crowned the biggest Mickey Mouse champion in the history of sports. All that sucks for sure, but what sucks more is there's no more paint schemes to review. The good news is there's only 13 weeks between now and Daytona, and I'm going to find a way to fill every one of them. Today, it starts with the number one paint scheme from every driver of the 2024 season. Let's go. By the time you're hearing this, I should already have the Xfinity version of this done as well. That leads me to a quick question. Obviously, the Cup Series reviews have always been on Wednesdays, and I've left the Xfinity reviews for Thursdays. With there obviously being no new paint schemes for the next 13 weeks, should I save the Xfinity review for next week or just post it tomorrow? I'm leaving it up to you guys. I got a couple ideas to help make it through the first few weeks, but after that, I'm probably going to need you guys' help. So leave any suggestions in the comments. Also, while I have you here, my fiance Emily has started to post a lot more TikToks. I'll put her handle somewhere on the video and it'll also be in the caption below. She has some personal stuff on there, but she also has a bunch of behind the scenes stuff as me as well. So go give her a follow. Anyway, I'm kind of hoping with this video that I could maybe start a war in the comments. I know a lot of you feel very strongly about certain paint schemes, and there's about a 99% chance that you're not going to agree with what I have to say. So let's go. Obviously, Ross Chastain had a lot of great paint schemes to choose from, but I had to go with this car from the Darlington throwback race. Hopefully next year he can run as good as the cars look. Now, picking the number one Austin Syndrome paint scheme is kind of like being put in a room with Hitler, Osama bin Laden, and Corey LaJoie, given one bullet and being told to choose one. It's really hard to make a choice because they all suck. So I went with this one because just like Corey LaJoie, it's not that bad in person. Although Austin Dillon did try to commit a double homicide at Richmond this year, you must admit he does bring nice-looking paint schemes to the racetrack. Ironically, I chose the car he ran the weekend after his double homicide attempt. I wasn't a fan of much of Josh Berry's cars this year, but I do have good news for him. He's going to be in major contention for a championship next year. Because in case you forgot, he's going to Wood Brothers next year, and they're basically a fourth Penske car. And unlike Austin Syndrome, he possesses talent. All it would take is a short track win for a short track guy at Richmond, sneaking through the round of 16, getting eliminated in the round of 12 before someone gets disqualified and he gets put back in, and then winning at Martinsville. Then he'll win the championship at Phoenix. Congratulations, Josh Berry. I just made you the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series champion. Although I'm a total slut for the regular HendrickCars.com paint scheme, I would feel like a disgusting individual if I didn't go with the Terry Labonte throwback. Glaze on. You see, I'm not a die-cast collector, but I just don't understand the ones that they produce and the ones they don't. In my humble opinion, this was obviously one of the best paint schemes of the year. Yet, no die-cast. Next year, I want a Patriots paint scheme. Picking the best Spire Motorsports 7 paint scheme of the year is kind of like the Syndrome deal. It's kind of like choosing your own death. At the end of the day, what does it even matter? Even the competition director of Spire Motorsports agrees. These paint schemes suck. Now with Kyle Busch, I had a lot to choose from. Weed, booze, nicotine pouches, my credit score, oil, and the restaurant I threw my guts up at in Daytona. I chose weed. For Chase, I was really struggling between Hooters and that Coca-Cola scheme he ran. I had to go with Hooters because unfortunately, we're probably never going to see them again. I will say one good thing about Chase Elliott. At least he got one more win for Hooters before they ran out of money. Despite running overstock paint schemes every other week, Noah Gragson actually had a couple good ones to choose from. I like the nod to his glory days at Junior Motorsports the most. It'll be interesting to see what his cars at Front Row look like next year. FedEx has officially left NASCAR. I think we could all see it coming, but it's still sad. But what's even more sad is how terrible their paint schemes were in their final season. It's pretty bad that this was the best Denny had all year. Ryan Blaney, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for absolutely nothing. I thought for sure that you were going to be able to pass Joey Logano and not only save this great season from turning into a Mickey Mouse one, but also cash my championship bet on you. You did neither, but this car totally fucked. So thanks for that. Not only did we lose FedEx and Martin Truex, finally, but we also lost Stuart Haas and probably the 14 car forever. At least they were able to run this killer paint scheme in like 90% of the races in their final season. A little birdie told me that you may not see this car as much next year, which is probably a good thing because Meat and Bone was the best they had. I unfortunately have not digested and shit out a spicy chicken sandwich from Wendy's in my new apartment yet. I also haven't pre-ordered this diecast yet. I really need to get on it. This car is fire. Literally. Mr. Busher. Unfortunately, we were unable to get Mike Joy or Lee Diffie to say the famous catchphrase all season long, but there's always next year. But seeing people say it online and at the track is better than anything else. So thank you guys for that, and thank you RFK for the custom-made hat. 13 weeks is a long time. I think you guys can come out with merch. All their paint schemes rocked this year, though. This was the best. Martin Truex's full-time Cup Series career is officially over. I'd say I'm sad, but I'm not. Bye. And introducing who should have been the champion if NASCAR ran a legitimate point system, Christopher Bell. I was really hoping that next year Joe Gibbs would do something different with that terrible ream scheme, but I've already seen it for next year. It's exactly the same. So not only did he get screwed out of a championship in real life, he also probably got screwed out of a chance to win the Stock Car Society NASCAR Cup Series Paint Scheme Review Championship. Because if it weren't for that terrible ream scheme, he'd definitely be in the running because every other one of them rocks. But Mobile One is the best. Slightly. Harrison Burton's Cup Series career is over for now, and he only ran like 2 different paint schemes all year, so I went with the one that he got his win in. Good luck next year, Harrison. Yeah, no, Joey is literally laughing at everyone right now. The dude with an average finish of 17th just won the championship. This guy was eliminated after the round of 12 and only got in because Bowman got DQ'd. This sport has officially lost all integrity. This would be like if the 3-6 Dolphins won the Super Bowl. And for Steve Phelps to say that this is the best format for NASCAR just shows how completely out of touch with reality these executives are. Listen, I'm not faulting Joey Logano. He did what he had to do to win the championship, but it's still bullshit. And his paint schemes are just like his average finish. Mediocre. I'm not really sure what there is to say. It's Darth Vader on a race car. For the final time of 2024, Willie, you fumbled the bag with Aaron Blaney. I chose this paint scheme because this is the one that won me money. Although I talk shit about the circle paint scheme all year, I almost picked that one because I formed an addiction. But I figured that would probably ruin the integrity of these videos, so I went with my dye instead. Good luck doing whatever it is you're going to be doing next year, Daniel. It's hard to believe we've seen the final race of Michael McDowell in the 34 Loves car. Who's going to be in it next year? Not only did Boozy send me their jerky a couple weeks ago, but their car totally fucks. The way that Ryan Preece has been left out of all the Stuart Haas goodbye stuff is absolutely vile and disgusting behavior. Ryan, I am so glad you're going to be running for a team that will love, care, and cherish you next year. God, I hope you get a win. And God, I want this diecast. I've smoothed things over with John Hunter Nemechek and his team. The interview should be out sometime next week, hopefully. I really hope you guys enjoy it. And I can't lie, this was one of the best paint schemes of the year. Emily actually starts her new job at Advent Health next week, so I had to go with this one. Yeah, I did beef with Tyler Reddick for most of the year, but at the end of the day, his win at Homestead in this beautiful paint scheme is the first Victory Lane celebration I've ever been in. And that's got to count for something, right? Ricky Stenhouse brought a lot of good-looking cars to the racetrack this year. Unfortunately, Kroger's leaving, which probably means the good-looking cars are leaving, unless NOS really steps up. It's actually really scary for a small team like JTG to lose their massive sponsor. I hope it works out for them. Ally! I really struggle between this one and just a regular paint scheme, but I think this one edges it just a little. But Alex, it's partially your fault that Joey Logano became champion. Gain weight this offseason. I could show you how. Rick Ware started off pretty good at the beginning of the year and then fell off planet Earth. If there's one word of advice I can give them, it's look good, feel good, play good. Your paint schemes right now suck. Ty Gibbs made it pretty simple to pick his best paint scheme of the year. It was between this, the boring Monster Energy scheme, and a flat black Jesus car. Clearly, you see my choice. He gets us, but he's never getting a win. Zane Smith is the complete opposite of Rick Ware. He started off the season running like donkey shit. But in the second half, he was pretty good. And let's not forget, he almost won at Nashville, which basically means he was one spot away from being the champion. Yet somehow he doesn't have a ride. See you at front row. Carson Hocevar commented on the video last week, which basically means I have a new best friend. But Carson, I must admit, my buddy Tyler was your first fan. So when you and I get drunk together, my only request is that he is also in attendance. Congrats on your Rookie of the Year and your almost championship. This man is winning a race next year. The only thing he needs now is good-looking race cars. Go Dryo. Daniel, I'm sorry you got screwed out of a Big Baby Scumbag Paint Scheme of the Week award. If I was doing the review the week you ran this car instead of Emily, you would have won. But she still loves you. And the Big Baby Scumbag Paint Scheme of the Year goes to